Tesla's semi-truck fleet had just expanded big time. Unfortunately, not in a necessarily good way. None of them are electric. All of them are diesel. Not to worry, I'll tell you why they did it and why they didn't do it earlier. I guess that's probably a big question. All of this is coming up next. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, electric. Welcome to your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, let's talk about Tesla semi-trucks. Elon tweeted out and said that they acquired a few trucking companies from what it seems, and created some contracts with the others so they can deliver Model 3s on time by the end of the quarter, because obviously a lot of people are trying to get that before the end of the year. Here in the United States, the tax credit is going to be cut in half starting the next year. So that's kind of the main reason. So at first he tweeted out saying, Tesla just acquired trucking capacity to ensure Model 3 can be delivered in USA by December 31st. By the way, they've extended that deadline. You can now, I guess, take your time until November 30th. Now, that's if you're here on the West Coast. I think if you're on the East Coast, it's going to be really close. But I think the deliveries are 8 weeks. So yeah, I think you kind of missed the train on that. Unless you want to pick it up here at the factory, I think that's like the fastest 4 weeks version. And nevertheless, so at first it wasn't really clear, right? And then I guess he also said, well, they're also going to be skipping the delivering cars to the East Coast by railroad. Now I don't know anything about those kind of logistics, but apparently that's taking way more time. They're like, I don't know. I always thought because the train doesn't really have like red lights and it's kind of like straight through, and it is usually, rolling at about 60 miles an hour. I thought that would have been the fastest way, but what do I know? Apparently that's a slow way, but most importantly, it's probably the most expensive way. So it looks like Elon wants to use trucks. And I guess unloading is much easier, and it looks like they're also trying to just kind of deliver them directly to the customers rather than, a service center first. And then having a customer's pick up, which obviously cuts down on the whole, delivery time and training time and so forth. And I know they're going to be in a big crunch at the end of this quarter, because they're going to try to once again beat the expectations, make sure they're staying profitable. I'm assuming they would like to increase profits over the last quarter. And I think they should be okay. I think they will end up doing that. But yeah, so this may just not be that bad of an idea. And this is the last one, I think, once Fred from Electric asked him, like, well, what are you talking about? Like, how? And so then Elon said, well, we bought some trucking companies and then secured some other contracts with haulers. And I think this has been a theme for a while for Tesla, because they've been having issues securing enough trucks now that the ramp up had kind of increased by a lot. But then it makes me wonder, well, why now, right? So I'll give you some thoughts about why now, and whether or not this is really sustainable. Before that, of course, I want to mention that this video and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories, and they don't really have, I think, a problem delivering their items to you guys. And you can also save yourselves a few bucks by grabbing a discount code in the description of this video. All right, so Tesla semi-truck fleet, that is not the electric one, though at some point obviously they want to make sure that all of their cars, all of their trucks, all of their deliveries are all electric. I believe they're now switching to the mobile service, making sure that mobile service is using Tesla only vehicles. I believe they're retrofitted Model X cars. So we see more and more of those. All right, but on one hand, I think this is great, right? They're controlling their own sort of destiny. They're controlling the deliveries. They're controlling the timing. That way they, especially now they have to play this game about, delivering enough cars by the end of the quarter, delivering enough cars before the tax rebate starts getting, sort of a cut, at least at this point. And then there will be another one in 6 months. So I think this is a great idea, but the question is, well, why haven't they done it before? Like a lot of times, and I know people hail this, they're like, oh my, this is great idea, which it is, but how did this just come up? Like, you would make sense. It would make sense if they would have been pretty much prepared for this, knowing that, what kind of issues they've been already having, knowing that the only way to kind of solve them is to get, their own basically trucks, and or have some exclusive contracts. And it just seems like sometimes they just kind of corner themselves, wait until they corner themselves, and they come up with this genius solution. Look what we did, right? Where this really probably should have been in place a while back. And which kind of makes me wonder, right? Like, they're so genius in so many different ways, right? The technology and, car building and all of that stuff, but sometimes I feel like they're like so amateur in terms of like logistical basic stuff that they should have probably known, right? I mean, they should have, specialists from the industry, you know somewhere on staff saying, hey guys, let's not forget, making these cars are great, but delivering them is a whole different story. So anyway, let me know how you feel about it. I'm actually curious to know what you guys think. One, if this is a good idea, and two, should they've done this before, like maybe 6 months ago. Let me also give a quick shout out to my new Patreon, Jordan Amoths. Hopefully I pronounced your name right, Jordan. Thank you for becoming a Patreon, joining my Patreon community. Of course, you get a few perks now, of some exclusive material. The highest tier, you can watch me live, which means you're the first ones to see these videos before I repost them on Patreon. So thank you so much for supporting me as an independent and full-time YouTuber. All right, looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.